Hello and good morning, everyone. I am Adrienne Ostress. I am super excited to talk to you about the Integrity Connect brand new scheduler. I'm going to show you how to get it set up and how it is going to truly help you save a lot of time and better serve your clients, whether it's all year round or during AEP. But a few things just as a reminder, we want this to be a conversation. So please find the Q&A box if you're on Zoom. Please find the comment box if you're on our private Facebook group. I am able to check those. And if you're watching on the YouTube recording, you can comment your questions there too. We are always checking those and happy to get those answered at any time. And in saying that, this is going to be recorded. So if you need to go and watch it again, you can check it out on our YouTube channel, which is Eldercare Broker. I do see some familiar names. I see Paul on here, Terry, Corey, Cynthia, and Lindsay. Welcome, Lindsay. If this is your first time on, we do love a lot of conversation. So on the Zoom, it is the Q&A box where you can talk to us. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I try to keep these direct and to the point. I know that you guys are out there busy, so I want to be sure I'm courteous of your time. All right, everyone should see that Integrity building. This is where you're going to go. It is integrity.com. This is how you access Integrity Connect. I'm going to be using a training portal, so mine might look a little more different than yours, but it will work exactly the same. And I am super, super excited about this feature. I know we had reminders in this platform, and a lot of agents work off their calendars, or not even just agents, people in general. We all work off of our calendars. That's kind of how we know what we're doing and when we're doing it, right? And so this platform is going to now let you sync your calendar with the scheduler on here. So that is super, super exciting. If you're excited, let me know if you're excited about it too. I love any feedback on this, and let me know if you can see and hear me okay too. That way I know I can proceed. Everyone should see my screen. Okay, Lindsay, thank you. So everyone should see my screen now. Kind of first things first, when something new is released, you have to set it up, right? So we need to make sure that you're setting up this scheduler correctly. You'll notice when you first log in to your Integrity account now, you will see the calendar tab on the left-hand side. So this is kind of your master calendar. This is where you can see, all of your upcoming appointments, your past appointments. This is kind of where you will go to see all of your calendar. Now, to set this up, you will have to go to your account settings. So you will hit your profile icon in the top right, and you will click Account. You will notice there is a brand new calendar setting tab. So you just click that little word there, and this will open up your settings. So it's really, really simple. You just follow the steps, and you will need to click Configure to get started. So once you click Configure, this is kind of where you can sync your calendar. And this is also really important in setting up what type of appointments you want to allow yourself to book and or your consumers to book on your website. So this kind of controls that on your side and the consumer side. And, if you're not wanting consumers to book their own meetings, that's okay. I will show you a way to turn that off. But I hope all of you really want folks, existing clients, potential clients, to be able to find you and book an appointment with you. So we're going to click Connect Account. Right now, we only have Google and Outlook. Keep in mind, this is kind of like our first release of this new feature. So just know we will be making updates as agents use it. So we just definitely wanted to get you something out now. That way you can kind of start preparing for AEP. This is another way you can let your clients know, hey, I have a new way to schedule appointments with me, or a new way for you to refer people to me. I have, this calendar you can use now. So as of right now, again, it's just the Google Calendar and the Outlook calendar. I'm going to click Connect Account. And I'm going to use this just demo Eldercare one that we have made. We are going to continue and allow access. And it says Google Calendar connected successfully. So now I can see here the email that is connected with this scheduler. Okay. If you have questions at any time, please put them in the Q&A. And then this is the type of appointments you want to offer. So if you have a brick and mortar office, you can select office meeting. If you don't, you can simply uncheck this and only offer home visits or phone calls. Or if you only do phone calls, you can only select phone calls. You can turn these on and off at any time. So if that ever changes in the future, you can come in here and edit this as well. So I am going to just do office and phone calls and click save. So now it's saying scheduler settings have been saved. You can see here. And then if I ever need to change them again, you can click configure. Cynthia, that's a great question. We do not have Zoom right now. Like I said, this is kind of our first release. We haven't built out a way to sync Zoom yet. Andrew, if you have multiple Gmails, you will only be able to do one. So it can only sync with one of the calendars with that type of calendar, if that makes sense. Because you have to be signed into the Google account for it to kind of authorize that sync, if that makes sense. And that way you need to make sure you are syncing the correct calendar. And if you need to change it when you hit configure, you can disconnect and then reconnect if you need to. Okay, so once you kind of turn on the calendar you want to sync with and the types of meetings you want to offer, the next important step is to set up your agent profile. Okay, so we're going to go to this agent profile next. This is going to play a big part in what's available on your scheduling page. So again, first you're going to start with the calendar settings, and the next is your agent profile. So in your agent profile, the product preferences, which I know you've heard me talk about many times, your product preferences that you have in here are really important. This kind of turns on and off what products you can quote. And this is also going to affect what types of meetings your consumers can book with you. So you can do life and health appointments with this scheduler. So if you want to be able to offer both, you need to make sure that you have both of these products on. If you only want to do health or if you only want to do life, then you would only have those products in the product preferences. Of course, I'm going to offer it all. So I have all the products on. And then this little toggle to the right, this is where you turn on and off if you want this on your agent website. So as you know, IntegrityCONNECT offers all agents their own personal website. And so this new feature is also available on there. So if you want it on there, you simply toggle on. And it's that simple. And then now on your website, folks can schedule appointments with you. The next kind of really important thing here is the office location and the office hours. So if you are offering office appointments, make sure your office address is correct. This is where people will know where to go to meet with you. And if you have multiple offices, as of right now, you can only do one address. But again, we are going to add in the future a way for you to do multiple locations if that affects you. And then the office hours, this is also really important because this kind of tells you and your consumers when they can book appointments with you, right? You need to set those hours to tell us when you are available on your calendar. So for example, this is Monday through Saturday, 9 to 6. We are open every day, no days off. Or Sundays off, we're closed. So I'm going to leave that just like that. Or for an example, I'll turn Monday off too. I'll do Monday and Tuesday just in case for training purposes, so you can see what a blocked day kind of looks like on your end. And then this is where you set your time zone and your hours that your business is open to schedule appointments. Click save to save that. So again, I'm just going to scroll to the top and kind of show you agent profile is where you set, like if you want life and health, if you want it on your website, where your office is, and your kind of availability hours to schedule appointments. And I'll kind of go over the website one after I go over the way how you can schedule appointments first. Cynthia asked, the email that already connects in Integrity, will that be the email that syncs? Not necessarily, Cynthia. So the email I used is definitely not the email for the account. It was just the email that I was signed into on Google. That way, like I said, if you're going to do a Google Calendar, make sure you're using Chrome, you're signed into that Google account, and then you can sync it that way. It makes it a lot easier. Cynthia asked a great question. How do you schedule if you need to be off between 2 and 4 every day? So as of right now, we don't have a way to block that on our side. The only way you would be able to do that is if you created a contact in here and you booked that appointment, every day on that contact record, or, because you're syncing it with your Google Calendar, if you have that blocked on your Google Calendar, then it would be blocked on this scheduler as well. Great question, Cynthia. Okay, so now that we have, and that's it for setting up the scheduler. Okay, so again, the calendar settings is where you configure the Google or Outlook calendar and the types of meetings. Agent profile is life or health meetings if you want it on your website, the office location, and the office hours. So next, we're going to kind of go into booking an appointment. So this is my favorite part, right? So on the left-hand side, we're going to go back to calendar. And then you can see in the top right, schedule appointment or add reminder. So if you've been familiar with IntegrityCONNECT, we've always had reminders in here. So when you logged in, you had reminders to do things, right? Call your clients back. And so now we are keeping the reminder feature because sometimes you just need that reminder still. It's not necessarily an appointment, but we are kind of merging them together in the same place and adding the schedule appointment option. So if you're wanting to schedule an appointment with a client, you click schedule appointment, and then you will have to type in the client's name. They will need to be a client in here already for you to book an appointment with them, right? You're going to need a way to send them a confirmation. So we need that phone number, we need that email. If you're meeting with them at their house, we need their address. So it's going to need to already be in here as a contact. So I'm going to let's use Meredith. Or let's do Kevin. All right, so I pulled up my client, Kevin. Now it's going to ask me the type of meeting. So again, life or health. For this example, I'm going to do health because there are some kind of extra steps on the health side because we want to help you be compliant, right? So I'm going to select health. And then as of right now, the duration options are only 30 minutes and 60 minutes. If you're needing it to be longer than 60 minutes, you can book another appointment right after that, for 30 minutes to block that time, or you can communicate that with your client. Lindsay, so we can use our Integrity link in place of our current scheduling programs like Calendly. Exactly, Lindsay. We are trying to help you save money, right? Our technology doesn't cost anything for you to use. So if you are paying for subscriptions like Calendly, or I think Zoom Meeting has a calendar, whatever you're using, you can absolutely use the Integrity link to do that now. She said she did link her Google and Outlook with no problem. Awesome. Good to hear. So if you do have a new client that you're wanting to schedule an appointment, yes, they can make a profile, and I'll go over the consumer side after I go over this side. So as an agent, if you're scheduling the appointments or if your assistant is scheduling the appointments, because remember, there's that view as button still. So if you have your assistant or yourself scheduling the appointments, you will log into Integrity. You will go to calendar, schedule an appointment, find the client, do the type, pick the duration and the format. So again, I'm only offering office and phone. I'm not doing in-home appointments anymore. And I'm just doing that as an example. So I am going to do a phone call and I'm going to click next. And then this is where the health scheduling is so impressive. We are going to ask you if you need a scope of appointment for this appointment. I know that appointment word's going to get really hard for me to say after this training, but it is going to ask if you need one. So if they are new, or if it's, the upcoming AEP, you need a new one to talk about the new plan year, you can simply click yes, and then click send SOA. And then this is going to look really familiar to you if you're using our scopes. It's going to say, do you want to do it via email or text? Do you want to track the 48 hours? Do you want to send in Spanish? So everything in IntegrityCONNECT is available in Spanish as well. So one thing about this 48-hour tracking and the scope of appointment with scheduling, I want to make sure that all of you understand how this works. If you leave the 48-hour tracking checked, right, you got to have that scope before 48 hours before your appointment, and you click send SOA, you will not be able to schedule the appointment until they complete that scope of appointment. I hope that makes sense. But if, they are a walk-in or, a call-in, or you already have a scope of appointment for that plan year, you can uncheck this 48 hours and then you can send that SOA right away. And when you do that, that client will get that SOA right away, and then you can continue booking. And then also, I'm going to click back here again, just for training purposes. You'll kind of see me going back and forth. When I hit next and it asks if I don't need a scope of appointment, because there could be many reasons, right? You could be using this for ACA appointments, ancillary appointments. I know we talked about ancillary on a training yesterday a lot. So if you're wanting to schedule those types of appointments in here, you can. I mean, they're still health appointments, but you don't need that scope. If it's Medicare supplement, if it's a, just a service meeting, if you don't need that scope, then you would simply click no. And then you would be able to continue to that scheduler. And this is where you can start picking the dates and times for appointments. So you will be able to schedule any date and time on your end. So let's say I want to schedule it for Wednesday at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. And then I'm going to click next. And then this is kind of where you're confirming where your consumer is going to get that confirmation notification and the reminder notification. So you can either do email or text. So you'll have to select only one for these confirmations and reminders. So if you're wanting to do the reminder email, it will automatically send them that reminder a day before their meeting. And then if you're wanting to do the text messages, the text will do it exactly 24 hours before the meeting. So I'm going to do a text message. Again, you can do this in Spanish. If you need to change the email or text, you can. You can do a new email or text. And then we're going to hit save and send, because as soon as you do this, it does send that confirmation to your client. And so I'm going to go to next week. Whoops, and I don't see it on there. Let's see. Well, did I do it for the wrong date? Let's try again. Let's do Ribbon. And again, this might be because I'm in my training account. Let's do it for today at 11 a.m. And let's do a new email. Let's do there it is. Okay. So now you see I have this meeting today with Kevin at 11, and it's going to be a phone call. And when I click this, this is kind of where you can make edits to the appointment. I will say you cannot reschedule appointments on here. It's really important to know that if you're needing to reschedule the appointment, the only way to do it is to cancel this appointment and schedule another one. You cannot make changes to this appointment on your Google Calendar. So if you're looking at your Google Calendar and you're wanting to change it, it's not going to reflect on the Integrity side because you scheduled it in Integrity. So if you're scheduling it in Integrity, the only way to do it would be to cancel and schedule it again. And then also if they missed the appointment or if you missed it, you can make those kind of notes. That way you know the history of what happened with that appointment. Or if you finished it, you can mark it as finished, and then that way it'll show as completed. This also gives you a link to the contact record, so you don't have to go back into clients, search them, pull them up. You can simply just click View Contact, and it will bring you to that contact record. Another thing to note on this calendar, you'll notice mine is very blank, but if you have it synced with your calendar on your Google or Outlook, you will see those appointments on here as well. So I'm sure if you're following along with me and you've synced your calendars, you're going to see all of your appointments that you had on that Google or Outlook in here as well. Oh, I did 2:30. Thank you, Andrew. So you have to scroll down. Whoops. You have to go to the date and then scroll down to the appointment. Thank you, Andrew. So that's the first one that I did. And this did release exactly last night. So this is brand new to everyone. Do I have any questions about scheduling appointments in here as an agent, or like if your assistant is doing it or anything? Because after I transition from this, I'm going to move into how the consumer can schedule the appointment. Melissa, that's a good question about full view. I'm going to have to ask about that. That's a great question. I will follow up on. Okay. Cynthia, can you show one more time how to sync the? So you cannot sync Calendly. You can only sync your Google or Outlook calendar. Gary, any reminders sent to the agent? This would have to do with your kind of reminders that you have set up in your Google or Outlook settings. So if you have those reminders set up for those meetings in there, yes, you'll get those meetings. As far as within the Integrity system, whenever you're on the dashboard, this is where you'll see any of your upcoming meetings. You'll have a calendar on your dashboard now with any upcoming meetings. So you'll see I have some past due ones that I need to complete. And these are reminders that I set myself. And then these calendar ones will pop up here. Lindsay, yes, it does send an appointment reminder to the client. So, like I said, whenever you're scheduling here and you pick how they want to be notified, they will get a confirmation email or text right away. And then if you're doing email, they will get a reminder the day before. And if you're doing a text, it will remind them 24 hours before their appointment, automatically reminds them of their appointment. Yes. And then I think I have, let's see, I can kind of show you what the consumer will get. So you can see here, the email will come from no reply at, well, it'll come from no reply at IntegrityConnect.com on your end. Because I'm in a staging account, it shows different in here, but this is what it will show up as. It says, hello, Kevin. Adrian has scheduled an appointment with you. Appointment details can be found below. And then the date and time, and that it's going to be a phone call, and they can add it to their calendar. So that's what the email notification looks for your client. Andrew had asked to go back on the exception for the SOA. So if you are doing a Medicare appointment and it's asking you if you need a scope of appointment, I don't know if you're asking what the exceptions are, but the only time you wouldn't need a scope of appointment is, if it's appointment about like a cancer policy, dental, vision, hearing, hospital indemnity. If you already have one, so the scope of appointment is good for 12 years. So if your existing client, is contacting you to talk about their plan, like you don't have to redo a scope of appointment. Or if you do already have a scope of appointment. Yeah. And then, but those are the only types, you wouldn't need one. Per CMS, you are required to have a scope of appointment 48 hours before that appointment to be able to talk to them about any plan specifics. So if it's a new client, if they've walked in or called in, they're trying to get a plan, they're turning 65, right? Have a special election period, you're going to need to get that scope of appointment before you can talk any sort of plan details. Gary, the only options are 30 minutes and 60 minutes at this time. When I click yes for a scope of appointment, it takes me to do the scope of appointment for you to send the scope of appointment to the client. Okay, I'm kind of at time already, but I know y'all are all still on here, so I'm going to jump into the consumer side. So I'm going to pull up my website here. I'm going to go to the account, my agent profile, this personal website. Maybe. Seems it doesn't want to load. Okay, there it goes. So because I turned on that toggle in my agent profile and Integrity, you will see here to the right, schedule an appointment. This is how, this is one way, right? Consumers can schedule an appointment. You can send them your Pearl to your homepage on your website and they can click schedule an appointment. Or if you want them to be able to schedule on their own, you can send a direct link to this, this link as well. So whenever you are scheduling an appointment, whoops, I didn't mean to close that. When you are letting the consumer schedule an appointment, they do have to have a plan enroll account. So this is going to be something that the consumer will have to have an email for. So just think, when you're marketing to schedule an appointment with you, it will need to be someone who has an email address, okay? And then if they don't have an email address, that's where you provide that service and you schedule the appointment on their behalf. So if they don't have a plan enroll account with you, they can sign up for one. Again, this is all synced to you, the agent. So you will, all the contact information, everything is always going to be directed to you, who their agent is. So I'm going to click sign up. This is how your consumer can sign up for a plan enroll account. This is just one reason why you would want them to. The other reasons you would want them to create this account, are to see their plan with you, to see the prescriptions, to see their Medicare number, to get in contact with you, to see when the appointments are. Like, there's a lot of things your consumers can do in this portal to work with you and make things kind of more seamless and accurate. So let's do Kevin. We're going to create password. And they will create a profile. And then the consumer will have to verify their account. This is, again, why they have to have an email, because we need to, have some security in there and make sure that they're the only ones receiving this. I don't think it's come through yet. Let's see. No. Still hasn't come through yet. And it might not come through since I'm in my staging account. But it'll work really, really similar to the consumer side than our side. Melissa, yes, they can add medication and doctor info. How they do that is this get synced link. That's how they enter in their doctors and medications. It's not in my social tab. So it might not work because I'm in my staging account, but if you're wanting to try and see what it looks like for your client, come in here and create yourself a client profile. That way you can see it. Oh, it did go to spam. Thank you, Lindsay. So you might have to tell your consumer to check their spam folder for the email confirmation. Okay, so now it says you're all set. I can sign in. So let's sign in. And then this is what the account will look like for your consumer. It'll have their name, all their details, who their agent is, and schedule an appointment. So how do you prefer to meet? At my office or over the phone? Provide a contact phone number for your appointment. What type of meeting would you like to have? There's annuity, health, and life on the consumer side. And it's going to require the consumer to do the scope of appointment. So on your end, on the agent's end, you have the option because you know whether you need one or not. On the consumer side, we will always ask them for a scope of appointment. They will need to select the products, check the box, and hit continue. And then it's going to ask the consumer when they want to meet. So they can meet, Saturday morning. but you can see these are blocked off because I'm closed those days. Schedule an appointment. Your appointment has been scheduled. We've sent an email to your email confirming, and the agent will be calling you at this phone number. Because I said I wanted a phone appointment, it asked my phone number that I wanted them to call for that appointment. And then the consumer can add it to their calendar or cancel it. And that's the other thing with creating a profile. If you schedule the appointment as an agent and the consumer wants to cancel, the consumer can only cancel within their Plan Enroll account. So I can come back to my profile and I can see my upcoming appointment over here on the left, that I have an appointment with Adrian and it's going to be a phone call. And I can view that appointment. Again, I can add to calendar or cancel. So when they log in, they're able to see that. And that's how the consumer would book those appointments on your website. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard here and show you now I have 3 appointments that Kevin has an appointment now, April 2nd at 11 a.m. And it's a phone call. So if I need to call him, I can just click his name here. And then I can connect and make that call for my appointment. And then it would be recorded and everything in here and stored for 10 years. All right, so that I'm gonna end it there for the training. Hopefully this has inspired you to get in here and play around with it, get your calendar synced, spread the word to your clients that you can now book appointments digitally, and or just let your assistants know, like, I'm syncing this. You can schedule the appointments in Integrity. That way it shows up on my calendar. I know every agent does business differently, has different processes. So, this is going to fit into all of those to make sure that you are, staying organized, and being able to track that history too is going to be really, really cool in the future on this platform. So I'm going to open it up for questions. If any of you have any questions on the scheduler, please let me know. And keep in mind, this is the first release of the scheduler. So as agents are using it and more and more and suggest, more of the same things, that's kind of where we make those changes. So this technology is built for you, by you, and we 100% mean that. So any feedback, any sort of suggestions, that I'm always open to it, and I'm always here to make sure that the development team gets that as well. So I'm super excited about it. I hope all of you are, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And I will see you all maybe in a little while. Bye, everyone.